What's going on, everybody? Jesse Montaño here at Ball Arena. Whew. It was a late, it's currently a late one. It wasn't a late one, it's still a late one. Avs win 2-1 in the shootout. This game was slow to start, took a little while for both teams to settle in, but man, what an exciting finish. We had some late power plays. Like I said, it goes to a shootout. Val Nichushkin with the lone Avs goal in regulation, and then the only player to score in a 5-round shootout. Alexander Georgiev was great, maybe his best game of the year. Got just a couple questions for you guys. Like I said, it's late. I think I can tell the folks are already going to bed on Twitter, so we'll keep this one quick for you. Starting off here, most complete game by far. Georgie was in the zone, need more games just like this that was similar to the 2022 Cup run. Look, what I loved about this game was the Avs didn't get off to the best start. They were sloppy. Their details just weren't very sharp. They battled. They battled to get back in this game. They stuck with it. They kept their legs moving. They didn't feel sorry for themselves. They weren't throwing their hands in the air. They stuck with it, and I thought it led to them being able to settle into their game and kind of take over, have some chances late in the game, not just overtime, but late in the third period. They had a power play in overtime. They were buzzing the entire time. I don't know if I'll say it was their most complete game, because I really did think they struggled out of the gate, but I loved the way they stuck with it, and I loved the way that they were able to find their groove. That was what we didn't see in Tampa on Monday. They did not battle through the poor play, the missed passes, the sloppiness. They just kind of packed it in. Not the case here tonight, and they get rewarded for it, and they probably should have won this game in regulation based on how things went. From Katie here, which depth player has been the unsung hero of the Avs for this first chunk of the season? Can I say Casey Middlestat? Is that considered a depth player? I think Casey Middlestat has been so good for the Avs. Maybe hasn't been all over the score sheet these last, little chunk of games here, but I think without him, you're missing. That's such a key piece for the Avs down the middle. To get Casey Middlestat to be having the type of season he's having, to be a threat every single night, and just be a second wave that can come in behind Nathan MacKinnon, come in behind that top line, and continue to force teams to have to defend. Again, like I said, I don't know if that necessarily counts as a depth player here, but I think Casey Middlestat has been massive for the Avs this season. Gets a chance in the shootout tonight. Almost got one to go, but I thought he was involved. He's been a really nice element added to the power play. Casey Middlestat for me is a guy that if you're saying is sliding a little bit under the radar, not Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Cale Makar, it's Casey Middlestat. Last one for you guys here on a late Thanksgiving Eve. From SK, you didn't think you would get through a line of questions without any goalie talk, did you? How many games above 900 goaltending would Georgiev need to give you until you could feel, quote, comfortable riding him for the playoffs? 15, 20? Look, I don't want to bury Alexander Georgiev tonight. I thought he was fantastic tonight. For my money, his best game of the season, not just because he only gave up one goal and was perfect in the shootout. He was just solid, rock solid all night, was tracking the puck well, not giving up a bunch of crazy rebounds. When he couldn't handle the puck the first time, he was tracking that puck down quickly in and around his feet, and getting it covered and getting the play slowed down. I thought he was in control tonight. These are the types of games from Alexander Georgiev that make you feel comfortable with him in net in the playoffs. There is no magic number of, I'd want to see him with, this few goals against or this kind of save percentage X number of times. You want to see these performances as often as possible. And I'm not talking about one-goal performances, perfect in the shootout, where he looks solid, where he's tracking the puck well, he's finding it through traffic, he's not giving up rebounds. The more and more and more Georgiev can give you that, the more and more comfortable you feel that he's going to be able to do it for an extended period of time. The issue has always been the consistency, but the more games like this that Alexander Georgiev can string together, the more, you understand what the organization sees in him and why they, brought him in a few years ago, and B, have stuck with him even through the ups and downs, even as much as recently as this season. You see it. You understand why, but he just needs more of these. He needs as many of these types of nights as possible where, again, the process is right, not necessarily worrying about goals against, save percentage, anything like that. Just needs more process games. That's going to do it, guys. We're going to get out of here. It's late. It was a late start. The game went late. The shootout went long. All of the things happened. So that's it for us. You guys, I hope everyone has a very happy Thanksgiving. And we will be back at it with a post-game show on Friday. We won't be heading to Dallas the day after Thanksgiving, and especially because they're coming right back here the next day. Good one for the Avs. Want to give a big shout out, as always, to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Go to landmarklincoln.com. Check out the all-new 2024 Lincoln Corsair GT plug-in hybrid and all the great incentives and offers they have going through the end of the year. That does it for us here from Ball Arena. I'm Jesse Montaño. For Mark behind the camera, thanks so much, guys. Have a very happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you Friday.